Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Quick and Easy Cooking with Mimi. I'm Mimi. I've been using the Thermomix for the past 2 years, more than 2 years actually. And I've also been an advisor since October 2018. I'm also a team leader for the past 1 year, and I love how the Thermomix helps me with my daily cooking for my 6 children, my mother, my husband, and myself. Okay, so today I'm gonna go very quickly. I want to keep this short. I hope the sound's okay. Today is Halloween, so I thought for those who are celebrating today, I'm gonna do something very, very quick and easy for you. Because sometimes, even though you don't celebrate it, but maybe you have a gathering in the office and you're expected to do something for the potluck. And this is one of those things that you can do very, very easily. So the recipe is from a collection called, it's a French collection. When you search cookie dough for recipes, you can tap on the recipe. There's a drop-down menu there. Instead of recipe, you tap on collection, and you can actually tap on collections, and then you can type Halloween, and you will see all the collections that are available on Halloween, and there's a lot of it. And the one I'm using today is from a French collection. I forgot the name, but the recipe itself is called Tendres Squelettes. The word tendre, this one is quite confusing. I don't know how to translate this literally because, well, the skeleton part is obviously skeleton, but the tendre part is, it can mean either affectionate or tender or soft or fragile. So I don't know which one would apply to the skeletons here, but anyway, maybe we call it fragile skeletons. So the recipe actually involves making the buns first, but you can actually use whatever buns that you have. You can follow the recipe also. It's very nice, but it takes quite a while because it involves like a tangjong method. You make a paste using milk and flour, and then you have to cool it down, put it in the fridge, and then only then you do the bread. So it takes quite a while. What's important is you use any bun that is small, because when they're small, they're much cuter. And you don't make it too dark. Okay, so I'm not gonna waste time. I'm gonna jump straight away to the decorating part because I already have the buns. So the decorating part, I will translate the recipe for you. The décor et finition. Okay, so for the decoration part, we only need 50 grams of dark chocolate. So we're gonna tear the weighing scale. 50 grams of dark chocolate, 70% in pieces. So you use whatever you have, dump it in, and then we're going to chop this up. Insert the measuring cup and the mixing bowl lid. I mean, you don't have to know French to know what this drawing illustration means. So it's 8 seconds and then speed 8. 8 secondes, vitesse 8. So this is just to chop up the chocolate for us. Okay, and then next it says to scrape down. Oh my goodness, hang on, I don't have my spatula. Okay, spatula right here. So I'm just gonna scrape this down. So it looks something like this. It's only 50 grams, so there's very little. So you have to make sure you scrape it down because we want to melt this. Oh, my chocolate is so soft that it's melting already. And then, after you scrape it down, you cover it once again. And it's going to melt for us 3 minutes, 50 degrees Celsius, speed 3. So how do you work with recipes that are not in English? In case you missed my previous episode, The easiest way would be to use Chrome web browser, because Chrome will give you the option of translating it to English or showing the recipe to you in the original language. So fortunately for me, I speak some French, so I can understand what it says most of the time, because there are specific cooking terms that I'm learning along the way also. But even if you don't know that much, mostly what you need to translate are the ingredients, because the rest of it you can figure out along the way if you're used to your Thermomix. Because it's always, if you see these three circles, it's always the time, the temperature, and the speed. So this is one of the things that I love about the Thermomix, because you can set the very precise temperature that's needed for what you need to do. So for this one, I'm melting the chocolate because it's only 50 degrees. I don't have to worry about my chocolate burning. So while waiting, I'm gonna get our buns ready by slicing them late, because I've seen the recipe in advance. It's always good to browse the recipe from the beginning, and it says you have to cut the buns about a third of the way down, like 1/3 at the bottom. So I'm using my Thermomix bread knife here. It's an excellent investment because it's super sharp. Be careful, it can actually cut your nail off. It's that sharp. So you cut about a third of it. So basically what we're making are, we're going to transform these buns into stitched faces. So it's a super simple way of decorating buns for Halloween. You can also use, I suppose, donuts, except that donuts are a bit difficult to control in terms of the color. Baking is so much easier. They actually look like mini burgers. So you can try making this bread also. I like its texture and I like its taste. It's very different. It uses, it starts off by mixing bread, water and milk and bread flour. And then you heat it up and it forms a paste. Then you cool it down and you put in the fridge. And then once it's cooled down, then you mix the rest of the ingredients. You have to knead it. You have to let it rise. It's about the same for most breads, the proofing and the shaping. Then you shape it. Then you let it rise for another 20 minutes. Super easy, but it takes a bit of work. You can also use my quick and easy buns recipe if you wish. So when you cut it, you don't cut all the way, because this is essentially, we're making like the mouth. This is going to be a face and this is going to be the mouth. Okay, we've melted our chocolate, and now it says with the aid of a knife, à l'aide d'un couteau, couper les pains, cut the bread horizontally on the lower third, and then using chocolate, we're supposed to draw like lines, like stitches across the mouth. And it says to use a toothpick, but I am gonna use a baker's hack. I will pipe them without the need for a piping bag. I'm just using a normal plastic bag. So you take your plastic bag and you take a clean mug. You open up your plastic bag, put it inside the mug, and then you turn it inside out. So you have like half of the plastic bag inside and half outside. Then I'm gonna put my melted chocolate in here. So you're gonna scrape chocolate. Okay. I didn't scrape it properly, so not all of it melted. So let me try it again. I'm gonna add a bit of time. That's why it was having the weird sound, and I think I'm gonna slow down the speed. So this comes from, I should have followed my instincts and listened to the sound, because it was going to speed 3, which is too fast for me. And I'm gonna do 70, still fine. So you can play around with the speed and your temperature, because once you are used to your Thermomix, you will understand how to do it. So now I see that the chocolate that I have is not very good quality because it's not melting properly. Hashtag CMCO, hashtag you just use whatever you have. Okay, no worries. So if you happen to get a chocolate that's just like this, you can actually add a little bit of cream to it. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my cream. So the chocolate that I use is not as per the recipe, which is 70% dark chocolate. So I'm going to call up the scales and I'm going to add, so this will become like ganache instead. I'm going to add, say, 20 grams of cream. So this will look like maybe 15. This will become like ganache. Things that we go through. See, this is live. This is totally unrehearsed, as you can see. And this is how it looks like. So now I'm going to continue. Now, partly because it's so little. Okay, so after that's done, I should pipe the design on the face, and then I should put it in the fridge to harden a little bit before I add my jam. So the jam will be on the inside, so it's like it's a bloody mouth. Anyway, this is about Halloween being so creepy and bloody. Okay, it's melting beautifully, and I would say it's sufficient. So I'm just gonna scrape it to mix it up because it's so little. So little. So it looks something like this. That's 50 grams for you. 50 grams of chocolate, and I added about 20 grams of cream because my chocolate did not melt properly because it's not 70 grams chocolate as the recipe called for. And then I scrape it all into my plastic bag. Okay. That's how it looks like. And then I'm going to cut just the tip. My scissors. Oh, I don't have my scissors. So I'm going to snip off the tip so that it will be very thin. And I've got everything in here. And then I take one piece and we're going to make the stitches for the mouth. It doesn't have to be very neat. You just want to see the stitches. I hope you can see it. Looks real, yes? And now we're going to do some eyes. And voila, we have one tongue skeleton ready. And I'm going to do the same for the rest. Just pipe lines across it as though the mouth is sewed shut. So creepy. But it's chocolate. And then just add the eyes. However you want to do it. It can be as simple as that. And because this is Malaysian chocolate, it even hardens in room temperature. That's why it was quite tricky getting it to melt. If you use, say, Calbo, the real pure chocolate one, it will melt very easily, and it doesn't stay solid along. It doesn't solidify that quickly. That's why it needs to be refrigerated. So This one is slightly messy, but that's fine. The more chocolate, the better, right? So I've got this here, and then I can maybe try making like X eyes. Not so good. Sorry. You caught me. I'm not cooking for anyone, I'm cooking for myself right now. So this is how you do it. Super duper easy. And before you realize it, you have all these little skeletons right here. And the next thing that you have to do is simply to add the jam. Into the little mouths. I made this myself. This is strawberry jam. It has to be red so that you get the illusion of blood. Et voila, tendre squelette. Let me put one. Make some more. What can I do? It's dripping. Just gonna have to eat it, right? Another creepy skeleton. And another. And this one is for me to eat. And there you go. Super easy. Halloween treat. Tendre squelette. Fragile skeletons. So delicious. Chocolate and strawberry jam. Perfect. Try it today, even if you're not celebrating Halloween. Bye-bye. See you again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Quick and easy cooking with Mimi.